Hi everyone, Jess here. Today I'm joined with Tamur Goudarzi Pour CCO of Swiss International Airlines. Thank you for joining me today, Tamur.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Jessica.
Fantastic. So, just starting off with a fairly broad question, how would you define modern airline retailing, and what are you doing at Lufthansa Group to expand this?
Yeah, I think modern airline retailing really defines everything from inspiration up to the post-flight engagement and loyalty. It's really the whole value chain of air travel, be it in the air, be it on the ground, be it digital, or be it with physical touch points. So it's really a broader definition of our products and services.
Fantastic. So, how do we get more NDC penetration on the corporate side?
We as Swiss, we have now, as part of Lufthansa Group, managed to actually get 3 out of 4 tickets into the new distribution world already. So be it on our own channels or be it on the NDC penetration side. So we have already mainly captured NDC on the leisure side. And indeed now the big challenge is still to actually penetrate also the corporate side. It's an intricate value chain where you have to engage all stakeholders. So we really need to get our act together with the GDSs, together with the TMCs, together with the OBEs, and of course, with our corporate partners. Best you can do that if you have blueprints according to which you can implement, and then you go customer cohort by customer cohort. And so you can successfully, hopefully, penetrate also NDC on the corporate side very soon.
Fantastic. And are you feeling optimistic about that?
I think there's quite a momentum now, and you've just heard also some of our competitors announcing new deals there and new announcements on NDC. So I think there's really movement going on. We as Swiss and Lufthansa Group, we definitely push this forward as well. So I think 2023 really will be the year of NDC.
Fantastic. That's exciting to hear. So you might have touched on a few parts already, but what is the next phase for Lufthansa's distribution strategy?
Well, first of all, I think we empower our own platforms. We continue to do that. We have seen quite a spike in penetration on the own channels during the pandemic. And we also see that this is not dropping substantially during now the time after the pandemic. So that's a positive point. Secondly, we are fortifying the offering on the NDC channels with our tech providers. This is on the one hand, of course, the established partners, but also now penetration with the GDSs, and we have agreements with all 3 GDSs, Amadeus, Travelport, and Sabre. So for us, it's also important to get penetration on what's currently still prevalent on the EDIFACT side. And indeed, we need to penetrate now the corporate sector with the way forward I just described.
Okay, fantastic. So could you tell me about the development of Offer and Orders consortium that IATA formed? How's that going?
As part of the modern airline retailing program of IATA, we have also an important pillar there to get to offers and orders 100% by 2030. This is an ambitious timeline still because it's a massive task that we have to manage. And in order to get there, we have to go beyond just setting standards. We have therefore formed a consortium of now 12 airlines, a quite diverse group of competition partners, everything in there. And we have now come together to really get into implementation mode. That means first you need a business case, then you need a methodology, how you want to do it. You need to set the standard. And then you, of course, need to divide the elephant into pieces and start to modular approach to implement the new offers and orders. This is done with this consortium in a more agile way, a new governance, a new way of working together. We have to do it as an industry.
Do you find it, is it being productive in the way it is bringing about change?
Well, the program of modern air retailing is not that old. There has been attempts before, and the consortium in this format actually is fairly recent, and it's only a few months old. So we're still working on the governance for it, but on the working level, there's already very good exchange, and I'm very optimistic that we can develop quite some speed now in going forward.
Fantastic. So moving slightly away, as payments become more intertwined, how do you foresee fintech playing a part in modern airline retailing?
I think it's a very important part. It's not just the payment part itself, where of course we need to get also on a very good cost basis, but it's also about an offering to the customer. So we need to work from wallet basis, and we need to enrich these wallets with further functionalities, which can also be revenue drivers. Not only that, I think we can also push it further along the value chain early into the funnel of inspiration and search. So where you combine products from the fintech side already early in the modern retail funnel. Very important, I think, for fintech is that the customer in the new world really has a different perception about the offers he wants to see, and there's what I call anxiety management, which is needed, and fintech products can particularly cater for those anxiety management that are covering certain things that can go wrong in the journey. And so we have quite some number of exciting products, mainly from other industry, not so much from the traditional airline business, that are coming soon. And I think there will be some new developments that we will see in due time.
Fantastic. Are you able to give us a bit of insight into those developments, or is that under wraps for now?
Well, you see it already with some of the new players, new kids on the block that are currently already developing those products, be it on certain insurance products, be it on certain additional elements in the booking flow, for example, where the price is guaranteed, price freezes. There can be also inspirational elements that you save for a special event and you collect money for that. The buy now, pay later products are getting more and more popular, particularly with the Gen Z clientele. So there is a lot of, I think, new elements that we can see already, and this can be further developed and integrated into the airline retail value chain.
Fantastic. And are you seeing any sort of correlation with the pandemic and these, as you call them, anxiety management products?
Yeah, I think the customer really has seen and currently sees where there's still a lot of constraint on the supply side, that some elements of his trip can go wrong, and there's the expectation that something might go wrong. So you have to manage those risks, and I think the risk management that is related to those anxieties, that is something that is also an opportunity for commercialization and giving the customer a better feeling during the trip, before and after as well.
Wonderful. So what do you think of the potential of technology like generative AI within modern airline retailing?
I think really it has massive consequences. So now looking beyond the hype that we're currently all experiencing with ChatGPT, the generative AI, I think, will play a massive role in our industry. It will play a massive role in modern airline retailing. So some compare it to the next industrial revolution, and I think it will have these massive effects. So it has the effect already, and we can already see it on various parts of our services and products. For example, when we talk about content management, we can do a lot with it already. When we talk about productivity, it's very obviously also affecting everybody in the industry. It can be on the IT development side, but also on the search, inspiration, booking side. Plus, of course, conversation in terms of servicing will play an important part. I think there are multiple use cases that we can already apply. And we have done a first use case, just to name an example. We have actually produced the first race between a human being and ChatGPT to produce a newsletter for the customer. And guess who won? ChatGPT finally supervised, won the race, and we actually issued that newsletter then finally to the customer.
Wow, that's exciting to hear. And you mentioned search, inspiration, booking side of things. Could you elaborate on what generative AI could bring to that?
There are various things you can imagine there. You can, of course, link with ChatGPT or the other forms of generative AI to the inventories of the airlines. So basically, via Open API, you can link it. So you can already create bookings. That's possible. On the search side, you can create your ideal and itinerary. Just a few examples of how these things already materializing in first use cases. It's also that Open AI has now opened up the marketplace for plugins. So the question is also, what will now be the future marketplace where actually those things are happening? So there are multiple avenues. I think we will still see this thing moving very fast. So it's very important to be really up with the things happening right now. And we as Lufthansa Group, we definitely will look into all those new potentials that are coming up with generative AI.
Wonderful. And so we've covered generative AI here, but maybe looking at other things, how do you see the future of travel emerging?
Well, I think there's, of course, the element of the digitalisation, generative AI being one example of fast progress there. And the other one is to combine it with the still existing physical and human touch points that you have. So bringing this in the right balance in a new holistic customer experience that is more than just from traveling from A to B, I think that's the challenge. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there also in terms of brand placement, where you actually create cultural value by adding meaning to your brand, by adding additional services, products, but in general also to really work in towards a premium positioning of your airline brand that is more than just flying from A to B. This means you have to get your basics right. That means you have to make sure that everything works in the regular process, but then you need to also find the magic experiences that differentiate you in the value chain, differentiate you in the customer journey, where you in the end can really say, this is a holistic customer experience, this is a magic experience, and this is really a premium experience. And we as Swiss, as an example, we aim for being the leading premium airline that works on those topics and really enriches the journey for the customer.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today, Tamur. It's wonderful to speak with you.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. Have a nice day.